Position number 3, dancer.
Good afternoon, Ms. Dancer. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003832A with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, she had 17 cycles. The last arrest was May the 30th, 2018, out of Michigan for a traffic offense. She does have one prior felony conviction. It was in 2009 out of Michigan for uttering and publishing. And she does have misdemeanor convictions. One in 2018 out of Michigan for driving while licensed, suspended or revoked. One in 2013 out of Michigan for driving while licensed, suspended or revoked. And one in 2010 out of Michigan for driving while licensed, suspended or revoked. One in 2007 out of Illinois for retail theft. One in 2003 out of Michigan for retail fraud. She does appear to meet the criteria for UJRA level 2. There's an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Your Honor, this is also a conflict with a more or less a companion case of Jada Hilliard, who I think is also at ACDC.
Okay, so has anyone spoken to Ms. Dancer and Ms. McLeod?
Yeah, I've spoken to Ms. Dancer, yeah.
Yeah, we contacted.
Okay, so who is the other person that may need an attorney, Mr. Cook? So you're representing Ms. Dancer, Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Okay, so who is the
Jada Hilliard.
I represent Ms. Hilliard, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McLeod. And you've already had an opportunity to speak with her.
I have, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's move forward. I see that Ms. Hilliard is behind Ms. Dancer. Let's just move forward with Ms. Dancer at the present time. Same facts, Ms. McCockey?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Defendant Dancer and defendant Hilliard were out for the night and got into a disagreement. Both parties left the establishment they were at, but they returned to the Airbnb separately. So they left the establishment separately. Defendant Hilliard states that defendant Dancer bit her on her forearm and she began hitting defendant Dancer in self-defense. Defendant Dancer claims that defendant Hilliard tried to strangle her and she bit defendant Hilliard in self-defense. Defendant Dancer had lacerations on her face and defendant Hilliard had bite marks on her arm. The state's recommendation for defendant Dancer is a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with defendant Jada Hilliard, stay away from 2925 Dodson Drive in East Point, which is the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 38 years old. She was visiting the area, and I think perhaps they both were visiting the area. She has three children. She is working as a dental assistant. She would have no problem staying away, staying apart, no further contact with Ms. Hilliard. She is a person of fairly modest means, so we would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. Again, we have no objection to a no further contact. Stay away is not obviously relevant, and object to any kind of anger management at this point.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Hilliard, and stay away from the Dodson Drive address, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Dancer. Can we have Ms. Hilliard next, please? And Ms. Hilliard, you've been charged in case 24 CR 003833A with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, she has 3 cycles. The last arrest was May the 3rd, 2014, out of Michigan for damage to property. There was no disposition for that arrest. She does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR through the jail. There's a 91% chance of appearing for court and an 87% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
What's the recommend? Any additional facts, Ms. McCockey?
No, the facts are the same, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with Angela Dancer, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. We would be asking for a signature bond through the jail, Your Honor. My client is also fine with no further contact. There's been no request for stay away, so we're fine with that because that is where my client lives, to my understanding.
Okay. It will be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Ms. Dancer, stay away. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, no stay away. Good luck to you, Ms. Hilliard.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next, we have position number 4, Ms. Dorch.
Good afternoon, Ms. George. You've been charged in case 24CR003834C with battery family violence. Is there a history?
She does not have any prior arrests on file, Your Honor. She does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR through the jail. There's a 91% chance of appearing for court and an 87% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. McCockey.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of punching her husband, Michael Dortch, in the face, which caused him to sustain a black eye. The defendant did admit to punching the victim in the eye. The state is recommending a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with Michael Dortch, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And I would ask the court to sound for Mr. Michael Dortch.
I believe I see you there, Mr. Dortch. If you'd like to address the court, now is your opportunity. I need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. What would you like to tell the court, Mr. Dortch?
I've known this woman, my wife, since 2009. You know what I mean? Our anniversary is, we were married in 2011. Our anniversary is coming up August 26th this year. This is an accident. You know, there's no fear here. We miss our wife, kids miss their mom. We have 4 children. We've been battling cancer since she was early 20s. So she's just tired. It was an accident. We need her home. We miss her and we love her. And I know that this won't happen again. I miss my wife. Our kids miss their mom. We need her.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Dortch. Mr. Cook, if it's okay with you, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Mr. Dortch, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you both, Mr. and Ms. Dortch.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Ms. Aldridge, position number 5, Emiliana Aldridge.
Good afternoon, Ms. Aldridge. You've been charged in case 24CR003835J with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. She has 13 cycles. The last arrest was March the 29th, 2024, out of Jackson County, Florida, for criminal trespassing. There was no, well, I apologize. She does have a prior felony conviction that was in 2007 out of Florida for fraud, and she does have misdemeanor convictions. One in 2024 out of Florida for criminal trespassing, one in 2023 out of Florida for battery, It's an additional one in 2023 out of Florida for damaged property, criminal mischief. She does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR at level 2 with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. McConkey?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of entering Scott Seidel's home while he was out of town. The defendant was seen on camera eating the victim's food and drinking various liquids. She also took a shower and swam in the backyard pool, as well as defecated in a box on the front porch. When asked why she was on the property, the defendant told officers that she lived there and she was trying to go home. She also told officers that she hadn't taken her meds because she had run out. Our office had an opportunity to speak with Patricia Seidel, who is also the homeowner to the incident location. She confirmed the events in the warrant, stated that she does not know the defendant and the defendant did not have permission to enter their residence. She stated that she wants no contact with the defendant and wants her to stay away from the residence. The state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial services, stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the victims, as well as an MHET.
Cook?
And at this time, I would ask the court to sound for either Mr. Scott Seidel or Ms. Patricia Seidel.
If either of the Seidels are on the line and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 37 years old. She spent most of her life in Griffin, Georgia. She came here on a bus. I'm not sure exactly what the circumstances were, but for the moment, until she can get back to Griffin, she's residentially challenged. She's not working. So she wants to get out, get back to Griffin. That may take a couple of phone calls. Anything more than a signature bond through pretrial would just set her up for failure. I don't believe she would have a way at this point to make contact on a regular basis. So we would be seeking a signature bond through the jail. We have no objection to stay away or no further contact with the victims and stay away from the incident location.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with the Seidels. Stay away from the incident location, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Aldridge.
What's that bond amount, Your Honor?
$3,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you.
Next is position 11, Ms. Hewitt.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hewitt. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003839J with simple battery. Is there a history? Ms. Jackson?
Your Honor, she does not have any prior arrests on file. She does appear to meet the criteria through a UJR through the jail. There's a 91% chance she may appear for court and an 87% chance she may remain arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Ms. McConkey?
Yes, Your Honor. Officers responded to 1099 Maria Head Terrace in East Point in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, officers heard a verbal argument before reaching the door of the residence. The victim, Laura Hewitt, advised that her twin sister, who is the defendant, had punched her. The victim's son did confirm that the defendant punched his mother. The state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with Laura Hewitt, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and 1-day anger awareness.
If Laura Hewitt's on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Atai?
Yes, Your Honor. I wasn't able to speak with Laura Hewitt. I believe she was also arrested. My client is 46 years old. She is the mother of 3 children, including 1 minor child, 13 years old. She does live at the incident location. She states that her twin sister does not live there. She visits on and off, but she tells me that she has never stayed there for at least 30 days consecutively, Your Honor. Again, she's 46 years old. She is trained as a medical assistant. She's lived in Georgia all her life. This is her very first arrest at 46 years of age. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail, and I would object to the anger awareness and the stay away. She's fine with no further contact with her sister. Since we aren't able to get in touch with her, I would just, I would object to the stay away, and I would ask for a one-time law enforcement escort to confirm that her sister does not live there.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Laura Hewitt. She can go back to the incident location with law enforcement. If Laura Hewitt is not there, of course, she can remain. If Laura Hewitt is there, she'll have to find somewhere else to reside. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Hewitt.
Next, we have position 12, Ms. Jackson.
Good afternoon, Ms. Jackson. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003840F with battery family violence. Is there a history?
He has 1 prior cycle. The last arrest was March the 31st, 2016, for cruelty to children, and a charge that council may want to waive sounding on. Okay. All right. That case appeared to be still pending, Your Honor. That case number is 22 SC 181889. And she does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 2 with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 71% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Ms. McConkey?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of scratching the victim, who is her husband, Mr. D'Angelo Jackson. The defendant stated the victim grabbed her. The defendant stated the victim grabbed her by her hair and she scratched him because she was trying to remove his hands from her hair. The victim, Mr. D'Angelo Jackson, did have visible scratch marks on his person, and the defendant had no visible injuries. The state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with D'Angelo Jackson, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. At this time, I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Mr. D'Angelo Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, if you would like to address the court, I see you there. You have to unmute yourself and raise your right hand for me. The other right hand.
Yes.
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Mr. Jackson. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like for my wife to come home. I don't feel no threat by her. It was just a misunderstanding, and I don't feel like she needs to be in there. I just want her to come home. I love her and I miss her. And that's really basically it. I don't feel no harm. I just want her to come home.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Jackson. Mr.
You're welcome.
Ty?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 34 years old. She has lived in Georgia all her life. She does deny the allegations. The warrant reflects that the complaining witness threw her cell phone, but she still states that it was nothing serious, just a disagreement. And she does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant, and the complaining witness states that, again, it was a misunderstanding. He does want contact with her, so I would ask for no violent contact, and I would object to a stay away. Her last arrest was 8 years ago. That case is still open. She's presumed to be innocent, and that was the one lifetime arrest that you heard from pretrial was in 2016. So I would ask for a signature bond. If it has to be through pretrial, that's fine, but I would ask for the signature bond and no violent contact, and I would object to the stay away, nothing further.
Okay, $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Mr. Jackson, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Jackson.
Next, we have position 17, Ms. Sands.
Good afternoon, Ms. Sands. You've been charged in case 24CR003842H with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
She has 6 cycles. The last arrest was July the 10th, 2023 in Miami-Dade County, Florida, for a traffic violation. There was no disposition for that arrest. She does appear to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail. There's a 91% chance she may appear for court and an 87% chance she may remain arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Yes, Sean, this case started out as a dual arrest, but upon investigating and reviewing the warrant, it was determined that Ms. Sands was the primary aggressor. This happened at location 540 Humphrey Street. They met with both parties. The other party's name is Jamisha Merritt. Her case was NOD today. Ms. Merritt admitted that they were both fighting. Ms. Sands said that they were in the midst of an argument and that she punched Ms. Merritt. The state's going to ask for an SOB jail and no contact with Ms. Merritt, and then stay away from 540 Humphrey Street. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, we would object to the no further contact.
Okay, have you spoken with Ms. Meir?
No, Your Honor, I have not, because I was under the impression that she was not available to speak to because it was a dual arrest. I'm just finding out that it was an NOD.
Your
Okay.
Honor, I spoke with her before it was dismissed with Jamisha Merritt, and she stated that they're married and she does want contact.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. McLeod?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Ms. Mayor, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your
Good luck
Honor.
to you, Ms. Sands. You're welcome.
That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Your client has her hand up. I'm not sure if she needs you.
Yes, Ms. Sands.
About Mr. Parker for the false allegations that was made against.
Listen, you have already gotten a bond. You can call me to discuss your case. I don't want you to say anything.
No problem.
Okay.
All right, have a good afternoon. Thank you, Ms. McLeod.
Your
You're
Honor,
welcome.
Yes.
I have a question concerning Ms. Chapman, Heather Chapman, and Deja White. These are the last 2 females that I have.
Okay, Deja who?
Deja White,
She was NOD.
okay? And Heather Chapman.
We're ready for her. She was an add-on.
Okay, come on, Ms. Chapman, have a seat here.
Good afternoon, Ms. Chapman. You've been charged in case 24CR003854C with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history?
She does not have any prior arrests on file, Your Honor. She appeared to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail. There's a 91% chance of appearing for court and an 87% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Yes.
The defendant is accused of damaging the victim, Patricia Goolsby's screen door with a knife. The defendant also told the victim that she was going to kill her. The victim stated the defendant damaged her door because Ms. Goolsby told the defendant, the victim stated the defendant damaged the door because Ms. Goolsby, who is the victim, stated that she could not help the defendant. The state is recommending a $1,500 surety bond, no further contact with Patricia Goolsby, stay away from the incident location, which I have as 8880 Long Beach Circle, Atlanta. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, my client denies the accusations are stated in the warrant. She has no objection to a stay away or no further contact. We would be looking for a signature, a bond through the jail.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Goolsby. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor, for everything. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
We'll see you next time. Thank you, Officer Milton.
You're welcome.
And Your Honor, position number
Yes.
9 and position number 20, they're both waivers.
Okay, so 9 and 20.
Yes.
So position number 9, Cortez Harvey, charged in case 24 CR 003822A with reckless conduct, simple battery against a police officer, terroristic threats and acts, escape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history?
Your Honor, before we get on, I'm sorry, let me turn my camera on. Before we do this position, can we do position 20? Because Deputy Falk is going to be handling Mr. Harvey's case. So I need to text her to let her know that we're ready.
Okay. Position 20, Robert Tucker, charged in case 24 CR 003844E with simple battery, family violence, and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history? Ms. Jackson?
He has 6 cycles. The last arrest was March the 9th, 2024, for a parole violation. He does appear to be on parole or probation, in Clayton County for robbery and possession of a firearm or knife during commission of a felony. That disposition date was August the 21st, 2015. Was 10 years of confinement and 5 years of probation. It does appear to meet the criteria for UJR a level 2 with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 71% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Young.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 6985 Smoke Ridge in Fairburn, Georgia. They met with the victim, Miss Tanisha Tucker, from my understanding that that is his sister. They were having a verbal disagreement and the defendant slapped the phone out of Miss Tucker's hand. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services and no contact with Miss Tucker and a stay away from the incident location. No weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and a 1-day anger awareness. I don't believe that Miss Tucker is on the line, but we can sound for the victim just in case.
Ms. Tucker's on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Attai?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 28 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He did earn a GED and he is gainfully employed. He does suffer from type 2 diabetes. I know you heard some history. I believe the most recent thing was a probation violation. And other than that, it was 10 years ago. I would ask for a signature bond, and it can be through pretrial services, but I would ask for level 1. And I would object to the 1-day anger awareness. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. I haven't been able to get in touch with his sister, but I was able to speak with his mother. She says that he does have somewhere else that he can live. They were living there together. And I guess there would be no further contact, although it is his sister. But I wouldn't object to the stay away and no further contact since I haven't spoken with her and I know that they live together. But I would object to the 1-day anger awareness. This was a phone. He states that his sister was being aggressive with him, recording him, and the warrant states that the phone hit her. He states it was whatever happened was an accident, nothing further.
And Your Honor, we have had contact with the victim and she stated that she did not want to have contact. And they actually have a history of violence with him being the aggressor. So.
Okay. For the simple battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the obstruction, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Tanisha Tucker. Stay away from the Smoke Ridge address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Okay, going back, good afternoon. Ms. Falk, we were on Cortez Harvey, case 24 CR 003822A, who's charged with reckless conduct, simple battery against a police officer, terroristic threats and acts, escape, and 5 counts of obstruction of a law enforcement officer.
Yes,
Is there,
Your Honor.
is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
He has 4 cycles. The last arrest was August the 2nd, 2023 in Clayton County for theft by receiving stolen property, an obstruction of an officer, and fleeing or attempting to elude an officer, and driving without a valid license. That case appeared to be still pending, Your Honor. He does appear to have an open case pending in Fulton County for possession of a pistol or revolver by a person 18 years of age. That case number is 23 CR 002966 and the letter A. Also, he appears to have an additional open case pending in Fulton County for aggravated assault, aggravated battery, criminal attempt to commit a felony, and possession of a firearm during commission of a felony, and possession of a pistol or revolver by a person under the age of 18. That case number is 24 SC 002360. Your Honor, he does appear to have some very serious charges that are pending. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. On June 12th, 2024 at 3:42 p.m., officers went to serve a murder warrant on the defendant at 2980 Jonesboro Road, the Oxford Apartments. The defendant walked into the Chevron at 3012 Jonesboro Road, and the officers entered to detain him on the warrants. When the defendant walked outside, he saw the officers and tried to flee back into the Chevron. The defendant then stopped and tossed his gun, a Glock 17 9mm with an extended clip, where customers were nearby. Officer Raston then entered the store to apprehend the defendant, who stated, "I should have shot y'all," to the officers. Officer Sievers, Officer Raston, and Officer Pearson attempted to place the defendant under arrest. He resisted, placing his foot on the vehicle's bumper. He also spat in Officer Sievers' face. While at the police station, the defendant threw chairs and repeated, "I should have just shot y'all," to the officers. Upon being taken to Grady to be checked out for his injuries, the defendant attempted to flee custody by slipping out of his handcuffs and trying to run out the exit door of Grady Hospital. Officers Raston and Officers Raymondville Watson then apprehended him and recuffed him. Defendant continued to physically resist the officers until he was struck by Officer Raston in order to take him into custody. And the defendant, when he was finally taken into custody, began jumping on the hospital bed and rocking it, attempting to overturn the bed until he had to be cuffed to it. Your Honor, the open case in Clayton County, 2023 CR 03411, the theft by receiving, obstruction, and fleeing and eluding, is an active case. The date of that incident was August 2nd, 2023. The possession of a pistol under 18, the 23 CR 02966A case, Your Honor, Judge Morrow set a $20,000 surety bond on that case on May 15th, 2023, with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons or firearms, and a curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. The 24 SC 002360 case in felony division for aggravated assault, aggravated battery, possession of a firearm, and possession of a firearm under 18 has a $120,000 surety bond set by Judge Wanda Dallas on Your Honor, on February 6th of 2023. And that came with a no alcohol, drugs, or weapons or firearms, as well as a 24-hour curfew, except for medical, court, attorney, school, and ankle monitor. The reason why I point that out, Your Honor, is The defendant was already in violation of that 24-hour curfew when he was arrested on the case that involved Your Honor issuing a bond on May 15th of 2023, at which point another curfew was placed upon him, which he was also in violation of on the date of this incident. He was in violation of that 24-hour curfew placed upon him in the felony division on this incident as well, because he was going to a service station, not one of the places listed where he was given an ankle monitor and told to only go to medical appointments, court, attorney, or school. He is also currently in custody for murder, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, cruelty to children in the second degree, and 5 counts of gang activity under 24 PI 004193. That is a case involving a victim, Miss Nasia Cox, where he is alleged to have fired at her vehicle, which contained Miss Cox, who is deceased, and 2-year-old Nymere Cox. That happened on May 18th, 2024 at 2 a.m., which would also be in violation of both Your Honor's curfew and the curfew set in the February case by Judge Wanda Dallas. So all in all, Your Honor, the totality of the circumstances here are a number of current open pending cases that both show that the defendant is a risk of reoffending, a danger to our general community, as well as somebody who is not to be trusted to follow the conditions of bond, as he has now violated 3 times the conditions of bond, including those set by Your Honor, where he was to have no firearms. And on this date, the date of our current incident, threw down a Glock 9mm with an extended clip in violation of that bond condition. For that reason, the state is asking for a $100,000 surety bond. That's going to be $20,000 on the reckless conduct, $10,000 on each of the remaining charges, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We are also going to ask for a reinstatement of that 24-hour curfew plus an ankle monitor to ensure that he is monitored at all times if he is to make that bond and get out of custody. That's all for the state, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is only 18 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He states that he's a senior at Life Christian Academy School of Performing Arts. He was arrested June 12th. I understand he has other charges, but I would say that this is a Riverside issue and ask for a signature bond. If not, he's not going anywhere. He has no bond on his felony charges. He does have a child on the way, and I would just ask for a lower bond so that when he is ready to be released from the felony charges, that he's not held on an extremely high $100,000 good bond for these misdemeanor charges, willful obstruction. It looked like the officers in the warrant stated that they were in the low and ready position when they went to arrest my client. So I think that they, tossing the gun, he was trying to keep himself safe, if anything. But again, he does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. He has been subjected to mistreatment, he tells me, by the police officers who took him into custody. So I would ask, and I believe it's a Riverside issue. He was arrested on the 12th. The warrants were issued on the 13th. It's now the 17th. So I would ask for the signature bond through the jail, if not a much lower bond than what the state has asked for.
And Your Honor, to the issue of Riverside, I will point out that the state was ready to go forward on this case on Saturday. I myself was prepared to handle that case. It was Miss Atai's client who was unprepared to go forward, and it was set down as a medical reset. So for that reason, that would not cover a Riverside issue where it's the state who is alleged to have not acted to bring this defendant forward to court. We did everything in our power to do so. It was the defendant's actions that led him to not be able to appear.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. I've already given him a $20,000 surety bond previously, so I can't go the opposite way. So these are all going to be cash bonds. For the reckless conduct, it's going to be a $20,000 cash bond. The simple battery against a police officer, $5,000 cash bond. Terroristic threats, $1,000 cash bond. Escape, $1,000 cash bond. For each of the willful obstructions, which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of, it'll be $1,000 cash bond per charge, which I think in total makes for $32,000 cash bond. If he does make the cash bond, he's to have an ankle monitor, he's to have a 24-hour curfew, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, I apologize to the courts. I did miss the first 4 charges, the bond that you said.
Okay, you're fine. So for the reckless, it's 20 cash, simple battery, 5 cash, terroristic threats, 1,000 cash, escape, 1,000 cash, and 1,000 cash for each of the willful obstruction charges.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, does that complete the calendar for today?
Yes, sir.
All right, so as soon as Ms. Bridgewater is ready, we can go over the calendar.
I'm ready, Your Honor.
Okay,
Okay, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be July the 2nd. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 2, reset further notice with the $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 4, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 5 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 6, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 7, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. 8, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 9 is reset to the SAP calendar, which again is July the 2nd, with a total $32,000 cash bond. 10, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 11, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 12, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 13, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 14, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. 15, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 16, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 17, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 18, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 19 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Position 20, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 21, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 22, reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 23 is reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through pretrial, with Bridget Robinson being the co-signer. And for the add-on calendar, it's being reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
A brief announcement.
okay.
So today's gonna be my last day in court. Tomorrow's my last day with the office. I just want to say it's been a pleasure coming and having court with you every day. And it's been an honor to, come and practice law with you guys. So
Is that why you've been smiling all day? Is that what the Chester grant was?
Oh,
It is.
Where'd you go?
Where you going?
hopefully overseas on an ocean somewhere.
Oh, you're just
Oh, wow.
You leaving completely.
I'm sure I'll be around, I'm not moving
right.
out the city. I'll be around. I'll be outside.
Well, it has been a pleasure, Mr. Walker. I
Thank
wish
you.
you nothing less than the best.
Thank you.
You are certainly going to be missed.
Yeah.
I miss you guys too. It's been a
Always
great 5
in one.
years.
Did you hear?
Wow.
What you say, Ms. Bridgewater?
So you're going to be missed in more ways than one.
I'll miss you guys too.
Wow.
Good luck to you.
I
I wish you well, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Okay. How
Until
about
next time, my friends.
Oh, wish you the best luck.
Bye.
Okay. Is that it, Judge?
That's it. I will, as soon as I get those. Is Miss Champion still on the line? Miss Champion?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna try to log in again from my laptop to see if I can make it work.
Okay.
To see what was wrong. Would you let me? Would you mind?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to. I'm not sure what's going on with that. And Miss Bridgewater, I'll as soon as you get me the
On the way.
get them back to you. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.